The Institute for Priestly Formation, located in Omaha, Nebraska, in partnership with Spirit Catholic Radio, is pleased to present the Lenten Reflection Series, The Journey to Jerusalem. Join Father Mark Toups as he helps us walk with Jesus on his journey to Jerusalem.
Good Friday.
My brothers and sisters, welcome back to the Journey to Jerusalem, and welcome back to this most sacred and reverent of all days, this very good Friday. Yesterday we talked about the Passover ritual. We talked about the Seder meal, which was the experience of the Last Supper for Jesus and his apostles. A little bit more about the Passover meal will help us understand the significance of Good Friday. The Passover meal ritual is detailed in its placement of 4 significant cups of wine that must be consumed at key moments of the Seder meal. The cup of thanksgiving was consumed at the conclusion of the first movement of the Seder meal. The second cup was the cup of Haggadah, and it's consumed shortly after the Exodus story is told and the food is blessed. The third cup is the cup of blessing, and it's consumed at the conclusion of the eating of the meal, followed by a petition for the Lord's blessings. The fourth cup, the cup of consummation, is the final cup, and it's the last one consumed, and is a sign of the Passover being fulfilled. In Matthew 26:27, Jesus takes a cup. This is the third cup, the cup of blessing. As with the unleavened bread, Jesus strays from the Seder script, and instead of saying what he was supposed to say in the sacred Passover script, he said something different. He says, "Take from it, all of you, for this is the blood of the covenant." Matthew 26:27-28. And in Matthew 26:30, we read, when they sung a hymn, they went to the Mount of Olives. They leave. They leave? But what about the rest of the Passover ritual? What about the rest of this most sacred Passover meal? This is the sacred ritual passed down for thousands of generations, and they leave? Jesus has only received the first 3 cups, and the sacred Passover meal required that 4 cups would be consumed. When is Jesus going to drink this last cup? When is Jesus going to drink the cup of consummation? In Matthew 26:39, Jesus is in the garden, and he says something very interesting. You've read it often, but maybe you haven't read it in this way. It says, "Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me." Jesus knows well the new covenant will be fulfilled or consummated on the cross. Thus, in the Garden of Gethsemane, Jesus asked that this quote-unquote cup pass from him. He's referring to the cup of consummation, the moment when the new covenant will be consummated. Thus, on the cross, in order that the scripture might be fulfilled, Jesus says in John 19:28-30, "I thirst." Now there was a cup filled with common wine, so they put a sponge soaked in wine on a sprig of hyssop and put it to his mouth. When Jesus had taken the wine, he said, "It is finished," or in Latin, consummatum est. On the cross, Jesus gives himself as a gift. He gives everything. He gives his life, all for love, all for his bride, the church, all for you. On the cross, we see the purpose of this journey to Jerusalem. Just as the Old Testament Passover initiated the Old Testament covenant, the new Passover consummation initiates a new covenant, a nuptial communion between God and man. Today, Good Friday is very good, for today is the day where we, the bride, the church, are loved far beyond we deserve. Marriage, love, is tested in fidelity. When a groom loves his bride, especially when she is hurting and most in need, marital love makes sense in fidelity. Likewise, Jesus, the bridegroom Messiah, loved us, the church, his bride, especially when we were hurting and most in need. We didn't deserve it. You didn't deserve it. But he gave it himself anyway. He loves unconditionally, and now the divine nuptial communion is consummated on the cross forever. My friends, you have walked with him, listened to him, and fallen in love with him. And now, today, on this Good Friday, he has died. He is gone. He is laid in a tomb, and it is dark and quiet, very quiet. Listen to the silence. Listen to your silence. Listen to the darkness, which now overtakes the earth. My friend, I invite you to go to church on this Good Friday, and perhaps you had plans to do something else. Perhaps you know other people, or maybe you heard the temptation yourself to take today as a day off, or maybe just treat today as another day. Today's not another day. Today is the day when Jesus Christ, the bridegroom Messiah, gave himself for you, the church, the bride. It cannot be treated like another day. You and I cannot live today like it's just another day. We have to make today different. Surrender everything. Responding to Jesus requires that you and I would make different decisions. I would encourage you to go to church today and bring those you love to church today. And as you pray with John chapters 18 and 19, and be with Jesus in these final hours, the hours when he consummates his love for us forever. God bless you.
To listen to today's reflection again, or to order a copy of the Journey to Jerusalem booklet with the daily readings, the website is www.priestlyformation.org. Join Father Mark Toups during this Lenten season as he helps us walk with Jesus on his journey to Jerusalem.